Hi, Doctor. 안녕하세요.
Yes, it has been. Hello.
Very good, and it's good to be with you.
안녕하세요. 유기 그라모도입니다.
Hello, good luck time, everyone.
What do you want the world to be like for your daughters and my sons?
How old are your sons?
My first one is now 17, and my second one is going to be 13 pretty soon.
Wow. Well, I would not have guessed that you already had a 17-year-old.
Thank you.
You look 17. But I talk to my daughters all the time about the world that they'll be inheriting and their role in it. There are some issues like climate change that we have to do something now or it will be too late. There are other problems like issues of war and conflict and prejudice and nationalism that have been here for a long time, and I don't think that we'll solve overnight. But what I do believe is that the world has gotten smaller because of global supply chains and technology and the internet. We all have to live together in a way that we didn't have to live together 50 years ago or 100 years ago. The transnational threats that we face, like the pandemic, are ones that require international cooperation. The globalized economy will only work if people feel as if everybody, if they work hard, has opportunity. If you start seeing some people with so much and many people with so little, it's very hard for at least a democratically elected government to have legitimacy. So on all of these issues, what I'm hoping is that my daughters and your sons grow up in a world in which we can appreciate our own cultures and traditions, whether it's Korean culture or American culture or Kenyan culture where my father was from. But we also know that we have something in common and we have to cooperate. And one of the things I'm doing with the Obama Foundation is trying to train a generation of leaders, not just across the United States, but around the world, interested in each other, can find common ground and cooperate so that they can lead us in finding solutions to these new problems.
I will tell them you should invest only in what you yourself know a lot about. First of all, they won't listen, but second, every one of them knows a lot about something, whether it's fashion or cars or something. They know a lot about something. They go on the internet every day and they read about fashion or they read about cars. Stay with what you know. If you want to be successful, you must stay with what you know and don't listen to hot tips. Everybody wants a hot tip. Everybody wants to be rich this week. Just give me one hot tip, just one hot tip. Hot tips are very dangerous. If you want, it is boring, but if you want to be rich, if you want to be successful, you stay with what you know, only with what you know, and when you see something that is happening that you know is going to succeed, then you invest. I mean, it's that easy. It's also that hard.
So in many ways, the continued American faith and belief in the American dream of upward mobility is not an adequate response to the inequalities that we've seen in recent decades, nor is the promise of attending university and rising an adequate response to inequality. We need to broaden our approach to inequality. We need to broaden our debate about the meaning of a fair society to focus not only on individual mobility, but also on creating a sense of community, a sense of solidarity, a sense of obligation for those less fortunate than ourselves. This ethic of community the sense that we are all in this together. That's the only way to deal with the effects of inequality.
34살이니까 조금
늦었죠?
늦은
많이 늦은
나이라고.
거죠, 사실.
예, 근데 이제 얼마 전에 그 선생님의 젊은 시절 사진이 공개가 됐어요.
そうですか。
굉장히 이렇게 잘생기셔갖고 아, 좀 일찍 데뷔를 하셨으면 그러면은 소녀팬을 몰고 다니는 아이돌 같은 피아니스트 됐겠다는 얘기가 있던데 어떻게 생각하세요?
はい、大変面白い質問というかありがたいというか、困ったというかそういう質問でございますが、そうですね、まずね、若い頃多分よく撮れてる写真がそう載ってるんだと思います。
못 해주시던데.
やっぱり残念ながらイケメンではなかったので、34歳のデビューとも関連しまして、大学の時ですね、実はねちょっとここ長くなりますけども、大学1年の時はピアノがなかったので下宿だったし、大学の部室にはピアノがあったんですよ。ただしみんな人がいるので、これも今度はね、皆さんがいない時っていうのは授業の時間なんですよ。何を言いたいかというと、私は授業が出ないでピアノばっかり練習してたんですよ、大学1年の時は。だから自分の学生の中で一番成績が悪かったのは大学1年の時です。長すぎましたけども。
너무 재밌는 얘기였습니다.
もう少し申し上げます。ですから大学出て、普通の大学出て音楽家っていうと、みんなある日突然リクルートして音楽家になったと思われる方が多いんですけども、私の場合はポピュラー音楽の範疇で、うちがこんなこと言うのは本当は恥ずかしいんだけど、ですから大学出て、普通の大学出て音楽家っていうと、みんなある日突然リクルートして音楽家になったと思われる方が多いんですけども、私の場合はポピュラー音楽の範疇で、うちがこんなこと言うのは本当は恥ずかしいんだけど、苦学生、要するに門なしの大学生で奨学金とそれでやってたので、アルバイトをする必要があったので、いろんな夜のレストランじゃないけども、ありますね、ラウンジやピアノを弾く場がっていうのが、そこでちょっと弾いてみないかと。要するに空きが出る日があるんですよね、いろんな人の都合で。そこのお店の担当の方も言います。私に学歴などは聞きません。私も話さないし、向こうも尋ねないです。弾けるか弾けないだけです。で、気に入ってもらえば次もあるし、気に入ってもらわなければ次がないですね。ですから大学がアルバイトでもうピアノが本業という状態にだんだんなっていったんです。ここなんか力が入ってますけども、これ私のプロの仕事としての原点、最初がそこだったので、まだお金のことを言うのはね、ちょっとなんかみたいなんですけど、必要だったし、初任給よりは 3倍ぐらい良かったかな。それぐらいのお金は稼いでましたので、なんて言うんでしょう、有名ではないしデビューもしてないんだけども、そういう世の中が必要とする仕事っていうのはもらうことができたんです。
사회뿐만 아니라 전 세계적으로 굉장히 파격적인 인사다라는 화제가 됐던 걸 제가 기억을 하고요. 또 장관님 스스로도 나는 보수적 무정부주의자다 이렇게 말씀도 하신 바가 있잖아요. 그래서 장관님이 된 게 타이완의 변화의 상징이다 이런 얘기를 했었는데, 지금 꽤 오랜 시간이 지났는데 감회가 어떠신지요?
Still, I'm working with the government, not for the government. And still, I'm working with the people, not for the people. My role is simply to make sure that we can trust our citizens. So instead of saying, oh, it's always the government's idea, the government's implementations, even on the counter-pandemic with no lockdown, counter-infodemic with no takedown, we take the best of breed innovations from our civil society, from the social sector, and amplify that. So I still feel true to my original roots as a civic technologist, to amplify, not to rule over our people.
그래서 그 장관에 임명되신 직후에 이런 글을 페이스북에 올리신 것 같아요. 나는 국가정책을 선전하는 존재가 아니다. 많은 지성과 힘이 합쳐져서 더 큰 조화를 이룰 수 있는 통로가 되겠다. 그러다 보니까 좀 타이완 청년들 사이에서 대표적인 롤모델로 손꼽히고 계신다고 해요. 월간커넥트 시청자분들께 끝인사 부탁드릴게요.
I always quote my favorite singer-songwriter Leonard Cohen, who says something about the digital democracy and the potential to co-create resiliently out of a crisis. Goes like this: ring the bells that still can ring. Forget our perfect offering. For there is a crack in everything, and that is how the light gets in. Thank you for listening, and live long and prosper, everyone.
Knocked down, but I won't take no show. Up and I'm in the zone. Can't get high till you bend down low. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready?